Welcome back to Making Records with Eric Valentine. That's me. We're doing another liked songs. This is round 3 of this. This one has a bit of an 80s theme to it. There was a couple 80s things that popped up I really wanted to highlight, and I figured, we'll just make it all from the 80s for this one. My voice is a little rough, I've got your sort of typical back to school, fall, whatever, cold. There was like 5 days straight of my son coughing in my face, and I finally succumbed to it. So I'm doing that. I don't feel bad. I just sound a little rough. And I'm making good progress on what I'm calling Most from the Most, where I'm reworking that thing, just using tape machines and analog gear and all the expensive stuff. It's been super fun, really interesting experience doing that, but I'm deep in it. I got my SVT out, and it's been great. Okay, and that'll be, I think, maybe early next week I'll be able to put that up, and we can all see what happened there. Whole new thing. Okay, so here we go. Songs from my liked playlist in Spotify, and I'm trying to pick stuff that is was really influential or inspiring for me, or just music I really, really love that maybe is not super, super obvious. I think it's likely, many or most or all of you have probably heard this stuff. It's not, incredibly obscure, but it's not the most obvious, most popular stuff. And so this first one definitely fits in this category. Their talent and what they created with this record is so out of balance with what I consider to be a lack of acknowledgement and success for this band. It's so crazy that this wasn't like the biggest record of 1985, 86, man. It was just an unbelievable achievement. It was so ahead of its time. Maybe that's part of it. I have some other ideas why maybe it didn't connect the way it should have. But for, like a real, sonic junkie audio nerd like me, these recordings and productions are just unbelievable. I still don't know how they did half of this stuff in here. And they did it themselves. It was clearly like a super duper passion project. They worked on this record for years. I definitely know what that's like. And I worked with an amazing producer, this guy named Arif Mardin. They were signed to Atlantic Records, I believe. And Arif was part of the Atlantic Records world. An amazing producer, very sophisticated, did a lot of like really, highbrow jazz records, like very knowledgeable dude. And this and the music in this, like this is a pop record, but like musically and harmonically, unbelievably sophisticated. Crazy key changes, chord voicings, all that stuff. Super complex, very sophisticated, amazing record. I'm talking about Scritti Politti. So if you haven't heard of them before, you're in for a fucking treat, man. This record is so amazing. And if you're not totally obsessed with this record the way I am, if there's anything you've heard, it's going to be the song Perfect Way. That was the single. They made a video for the song. It's the one that most people know, even if they don't know who the band is. I'm going to play a second of that. But that's not really what we're here to listen to. I'm just going to play it so you can go, oh yeah, man, I think I've heard that. So here's Perfect Way. Amazing song and incredible. But there's another thing that I want to highlight that I think is really important to check out that maybe you haven't heard. Okay, so here is Scritti Politti, Perfect Way. Check this out. Man, cool space. Okay, so continues on. It's amazing. There's Green, Gartside, the singer comes in. And it's just this wild journey of key changes and crazy harmonic movement and sounds and all this stuff. It's amazing. It's incredible. If you've heard anything by them, you've heard that for sure. Okay, but I want to play the song Absolute. This song is so incredible. Just the groove, the drum sound, the little spaces that are created with all these little ear candy sound stuff. I love this recording. It's amazing. So check this out.
Absolute on power drive. Need you so to keep me alive. Absolute, I long for you. A girl to make a dream come true. Oh baby, understand.
Man, that drum sound, incredible. That mono, like crunchy wind sound on the drums.
Absolute power drive. Need you so to keep me alive. Absolute, I long for you. A girl to make a dream come true. Absolute, a
Cool change.
to make your heart invincible tonight.
There's these tom sounds in the background that are incredible. It's amazing, explosive bass on them. It's not, there's no way those sounds are just a close mic on the tom with a digital reverb on it. They're definitely using real acoustic spaces and enhancing it with digital reverbs, like to make it that just explosive and huge. Cool kalimba thing in there. Yeah, there's those toms. Incredible. And the way that kick drum impacts, very influential for me. I'm really obsessed over that. The way the attack leads into the satisfying low end that follows in is exactly what I chase, you know. Vocal. Apparently they were using Fairlights and synclaviers. It's the only stuff that was really around at this time that could do it with this degree of fidelity. Now, I don't know how they got their hands on all that stuff, because they were insanely expensive. So cool. Oh my God. Amazing. That record, you know, every time I revisit and go back and go, I should listen to that again, I'm blown away. Just blown away by what they achieved on that record. And the whole record is amazing. That's one of those albums that you can just put it on and let it play. Every song is really cool, really earns its spot on the record. Just sonically, you know, each one has its own sort of personality and own journey that it goes on. Really incredible. There was a 12-inch, you know, remix on vinyl that came out of songs off of this that I believe they did themselves, because it's all the original sounds, and they just kind of did the thing of extending the length of it and muting stuff and featuring things, and there's like isolated tom hits and a bunch of stuff on there that I sampled the fuck out of and used like all over the T-Ride record. There's still, I have those floating around in my collection of samples somewhere. But they're just amazing sounds. It's on that remix, I was able to grab them isolated. Can't recommend that record enough, man. It is a master class in arrangement, like how to place all these different sounds and create spaces and all that stuff. Brilliantly done. Love that record. Okay, Scritti Politti. So now we're gonna go in a radically different direction in the 80s. This is very early 80s, I believe. I think this might be actually 1980. But this is another record that was massively influential on me, and not as mainstream as some of the other stuff that was going on there. I don't know how many of you have heard of Pat Travers. He's a guitar player, singer guy, did bluesy rock music, and just, had his own special brand of it that was so fucking cool. And I originally, this is a bizarre sort of, weird side, bar to this whole thing, is that when I was really young, I was in 5th grade, there was a school dance, and, I'm at the school dance, and they would have a dance contest, for 10-year-olds, and we're dancing is basically just like, you just go like, that was the one dance move that everybody had back then, because this was like in 1979, and so at this dance, me and this girl, I think her name was Alex McClure. If that's actually right, that's a miracle that I remember that. But for some reason, we won this dance contest, and the prize was a Pat Travers record, which is even more bizarre. And so they gave me this Pat Travers record, which was his live record called Go For What You Know. An incredible record. It's actually not in the 80s, so I'm not going to go after that one. But that was my introduction to Pat Travers, and it blew my mind. Like, the playing and the drumming, Tommy Aldridge on drums, it was an influence for me for a lot. He was like very cool use of double kick drum in a way that just had a cool attitude to it. It wasn't just like, it just cool phrases and flurries, and it was like very fluid and cool the way he incorporated that shit. And so that was my introduction, and then I dove into all their stuff and discovered the album Crash and Burn. And that album to me was like, I think, a sort of a defining record for Pat Travers and his thing. It was still essentially blues music. You'll listen to this song, it's blues progression, but with amazing cool guitar riffs and guitar sounds. He was really into the 88 flanger, used that a lot. And so you can hear all of those elements in there. You can hear Tommy Aldridge's playing. There's a drum break in there. Like, when you're a 13-year-old drummer, it is a 13-year-old drummer's wet dream. This one drum break in there, it's just exactly what you want to play all the time. And it's just a cool song. The lyrics are a bit sort of over the top and gratuitous, not advocating drinking or taking drugs, even though this song clearly is. But there's an attitude in it that is hard to come by. It's these transitions and moments in the song that have such amazing swagger to it that you can't program. These are things that I think people have to do, like stand up and play and really feel and possess that kind of attitude and swagger. Clearly he did, certainly at this time. And so let's do it. This is the song, Snorting Whiskey, Drinking Cocaine. You hear all those little like double kick moments in there. Yeah, it's cool. It's not gratuitous double kick. It's just part of the pattern. Cool guitar sound, man.
Gonna drive that girl insane. You're like a bad rumor, baby. You're all over town. You're like a bad rumor, baby. You're all over town. All over town. Well, I may be confused, but you know I sure ain't down.
It's a cool turnaround in Not Conventional Blues there. Okay, check this out.
I'm a fast moving baby. I can show you around. I got so much cocaine, ain't never coming down. Snuck with
So good, man.
drinking
I used to play to that just over and over and over and over on my drums. Like, I would put headphones on and I would play this song over and over. Just all day. It's all I wanted to do. Yeah, and it's transitions like that, you know, to like really be able to just wow on a guitar and have it feel like that amazing sort of whiplash into a new section, you know. It's incredible. Love that track, love that band. That live record, Go For What You Know, is amazing. There's stuff on there, just the way that band played and grooved together was incredible. It was really like, you know, this like blues rock, but funky, you know, and man, it was amazing. Very influential on me, very influential on T-Ride stuff too, you know. Okay, there's Pat Travers. So we're just gonna keep going in all kinds of weird directions. This next one is interesting because I think it is the best example of the difference a vocal performance can make. How a vocal performance can ignite a song. And everything, it's a cool track. This was not something that was influential for me sonically, even though I think the production is really quite good. I didn't connect with it that way. It was the moment when I realized, like, wow, vocals and the singer really matter a lot. It's a big deal. And this is a really good example of it. So this is a song called Tell Me I'm Not Dreamin' by Jermaine Jackson. So it's by Michael Jackson's older brother. But Michael Jackson guests on it, and he sings the second verse on this song. And Jermaine is a great singer. There's no question about it. He can sing great. He does great on the first verse. There's a difference between great vocals and then one of the greatest singers of all time. And you hear it on this song. And it's really, really interesting. So check this out. Tell Me I'm Not Dreamin' by Jermaine Jackson. Cool Moog bass. Great groove. It's got that spooky chord change in there. I'm always a sucker for spooky stuff.
Moonlight took me by surprise. Light coming from your eyes. Are you with me? Am I here with you? Are we in paradise?
Sounds
I
great.
know I've been here before. You go, then you come back for more. Whoa, it's a mystery. How you disappear like a shadow in the night.
He's a great singer. He's singing great.
Are you, ooh, baby, too good to be true? Tell me, are you, ooh, too good to be true?
Okay. Here comes Michael.
Midnight images of you. You slipped into my room. Could it be magic? Could it be fantasy? Could it be that we're in love?
Dynamics, man.
Ooh, your voice whispers in the dark. You talk into my heart. Are you with me?
I mean, he just crushes that verse. It's amazing. There's these cool moments where he leans in and like gets that grit and then immediately backs off the throttle in such a cool way that his control of dynamics is so extraordinary, you know. There's a reason that guy was whatever, the king of pop or whatever, you know. He was truly an amazing singer. And just the energy level on that song goes from here to here as soon as that dude starts singing. It's really amazing. I love that. Okay, so there you go. Jermaine Jackson, Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming. Michael Jackson, crushing verse 2. Okay, so here's another one. Now this one you may not have heard. This was a total one-hit wonder, classic one-hit wonder. You know, cool band. This is an amazing track. And I don't think they had a single other thing that did anything at all. And this song got around pretty good, you know, like it was, at the time, it was all over the radio and was very celebrated. Really, really cool track. So this is a song called Let's Go All the Way by a band called Sly Fox. It's their only song, but check this out. And I specifically chose the radio edit version because that's the version I'm used to. When this came out, I bought a 45 of it. And so I had a 45 and it was this arrangement of it. This is what I'm used to hearing. When I dug this up on Spotify and I went to the album, played the song, I was like, what's going on here? Why isn't the song starting, you know? The radio edit was great. The radio edit is 4 minutes long. The album version is 5 minutes long. This is an amazing, cool groove and song and production. It doesn't hold up for 5 minutes. So I think the radio edit is the preferred version. Okay, so check this out. Incredible sounds on this. This is so awesome. Let's Go All the Way by Sly Fox.
Sitting with the thinker, trying to work it out. It's a traffic jam of the brain, makes you want to scream and shout.
There's cool scratching in there. I just love how explosive everything is. All the sounds just are so energized and explosive sound.
Looking for a new star to put you in a trance. Let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's go all the way. Working in a factory.
Yeah. Great ear candy on this thing. Yeah, I think later in the song that guitar return. Yeah. It's classic 80s guitar sound, tons of like stereo detune spread on it. Yeah, guitar sort of, you know, encroaches in the song more as it progresses. It's cool. Okay. Great track. I've definitely sampled that snare drum, that kick drum, would use them on, you know, mixes and productions and stuff. More in that era. I mean, they were so specific to that era, sort of like that Fine Young Cannibals snare drum sound, you know, it was like so distinct to that era and that genre of stuff that it was a little hard to have that sort of continue on, get used on other things. But at that time when I was working on stuff in the 80s, man, I sampled the crap out of that and used it all over the place. Okay, so we got one more we're going to dive into, but I'm going to play a couple things off of this. I've mentioned this before because This is hugely influential on me, for sure, and I've listened to this record so much. This was my favorite record to put on when I was cleaning the studio. So after a long, tracking session, whatever, 3-4 days in a row, just everything, every cable's out and used and mic's up and everything's got to get put away, I'd put this record on, and it was just, I don't know, something about it was so soothing while I was just, going and coiling cables and putting stuff away. So this was my cleanup music. I loved it for that. So this is the album is called Passion, and it's the soundtrack for the movie The Last Temptation of Christ, and it was done by Peter Gabriel. I've mentioned this record before. And so I'm just going to highlight a couple moments from this thing. It is an amazing, amazing recording. And it really highlights the thing about Peter Gabriel that has always been so incredible to me, how the sounds that he incorporates in his music and arrangements always are equally sort of organic and otherworldly. Like, I don't know how he's able to get these sounds that feel so much like they just came from Earth, but they're like just, I don't know, from another version of Earth or something. I don't know how he does this stuff, but they're just amazing sounds. Just the airy breathiness on a lot of these instruments. Some of these instruments, there's like these Middle Eastern instruments and vocalizations that are on this. Very difficult to record and capture like this. Beautiful breathy quality on everything. Also incredibly explosive. This is a great example of when an SSL is great. Because he's obviously a big SSL guy. He bought the company at one point to keep it alive, and made amazing use of SSLs for his recordings. I love an SSL on some Peter Gabriel, for sure. I don't know how to do it, but they knew how to do it. So I'm going to start with the opening thing, because it's really cool, but I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, because it's like 4 minutes, and I want to just sort of, can't really sit through the whole thing, but you should, because it's an amazing arrangement and an amazing example of how to slowly build something to an extraordinary crescendo, where at the end you're just like, oh shit, whoa, whoa, whoa. You just can't believe that it gets that big at the end. It's incredible. And so we'll hear the beginning, and then I'm gonna skip ahead and we'll experience that end. But there's a bunch of amazing stuff in the middle. Okay, so here it is. The track's called The Feeling Begins, Peter Gabriel, Passion album. The breath on that instrument, I believe it's a flute of some sort. Oh, it might be a Middle Eastern violin instrument. I'm not sure. Like a lot of his stuff. I don't know what the hell he's doing. It just sounds incredible. Cool gated reverb on the drums, probably an AMS, non-linear. Cool how this groove develops and evolves. More elements come in, but it works in every iteration of it. Okay, so now I'm going to skip ahead. We're going to go to the end. So we're going to be sort of in the middle of this big crescendo. So it's just building, all these huge drums are coming. Bigger and bigger. man, it's so amazing the way that thing builds at the end. You really have to listen to all 4 minutes to experience that. And I always felt like when those toms are coming in, which are really aggressive, have all that gated reverb on them, that nonlinear reverb and room sound, all that cool stuff, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, more and more intense, and you're just kind of going like, whoa, what's going to happen, you know? And then at the very end, the toms get turned up, and then there's that low boom at the end, because I felt like it was sort of unsupported leading up to that, and clearly they were saving it for the very end. Like if they had a big 4 on the floor, low end, subby thing going that whole time, that last boom wouldn't have the same effect. And you finally arrive there, and it's unbelievable when it happens. It's just like an atomic bomb drops at the end. So incredible. Okay, so there's that. I urge you, just sit down, turn your fucking phone off, all of that shit, and just listen to that track from beginning to end one time. It only takes 4 minutes. It's so worth it. Masterclass in arranging a long crescendo. Incredible. Okay. So now here's another one. We'll skip around a little bit in this one, but some amazing sounds in here, and then ultimately when the next track comes in, it's a seamless transition on the record. There's no, they sort of crossfade into each other. So check this one out. This is a track called In Doubt. What are these sounds? That thing? The hell is that? That might be his voice, Okay, so this sets up this cool, trancy kind of tension. I want to go to the end of this. There's that thing again. Okay, so then all this sort of clears out. Check this out. So cool. Amazing low end on that. That's like fearless low end. And there's one of those cool, really dark, grindy sounds that he gets, like on that Security album. Don't know how he got that sound. Low sound. What the hell is that? Cool combination of textures. You can tell there's obviously people playing drums in a room, little synth parts, these traditional instruments, Middle Eastern instruments, just all this amazing combination of stuff, combined together. It's really incredible. This whole album is like that. Just absolute masterpiece. I mean, I don't know what possessed him to go so far on this record to try and make it, so extraordinary. I'm happy that he did, but, this was sort of in the midst of all of his success with the albums So and Us, and clearly he was very inspired at the time, and, and just invested himself in this project in the same way that he did on those other records, like, those types of sounds and recordings and performances, that shit doesn't happen just quick. That you don't just go in a room and go, okay, here we go. You know, that's a lot of experimentation and trying stuff, and that took some time for sure. You know, I'd be curious to know how long it took to make this record. You know, it's mostly instrumental. I think there's some moments where, in fact, on that song, his voice comes in. It's beautiful. I love his voice. Even when he's not singing lyrics, he's just got an amazing instrument. His voice is an incredible instrument. So there you go. Five things from the 80s that I love, that were either inspiring for me or taught me things, or I just love listening to, whatever. Hopefully you were either reminded of them or discovered them or something, and there's something in there that was interesting for you as well. I love sharing this stuff. I'm gonna keep doing it. You know, I'll see, maybe I'll do another decade next time. But thanks for checking it out, and I will see you on the next one. All right, bye.